do you want to talk about first?
I need to.
I've played all of those except for Invisible.
I need to talk to you about Destiny.
Yeah, let's talk about Destiny. Let's do it.
I don't.
It's a weird expansion.
So okay,
weird
all right.
expansion.
So
weird.
I like the look of the moon.
Yeah,
I think that the areas look fantastic, and I think like from an art perspective, I think the pass they gave to it from the last time we saw some of these areas, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
The structure of it and having it be this form, and I feel like they did this before. Like some parts of Warmind kind of got a little like this, whereas like this, like you're not necessarily going on missions. Or no, it was the fucking Tangled, the Tangled Shore stuff where you're just like going around and killing the bosses.
Yeah.
Like it feels structured a lot like that.
Yeah, this has got some of that where you can do the missions out of order and just kind of do it as you feel
or a little
like.
more like, oh, you need this gear, and to get this gear you need to beat these bosses, and they're kind of, there's a little there's an element of like they're out there.
Like, just go kind of do what you feel.
Like I feel like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I feel like that game finally crossed over in a couple of ways, both from a lore perspective and from a run to the waypoint, and I'm not sure what I'm going to find there. Is it just going to be a quest giver person, or is this a full mission, or is this just an in-world bounty? Yeah. Like it feels weirdly
like
paced.
The way they've reworked the quests and bounty screen is better, but it's still a jumble.
Yeah, right.
Part of this is because I skipped the last 2 seasons and I didn't do a lot of the content in the previous expansions, so I've got stuff piled up from the last 2 years.
Well, I've got like I got like the Rat King quest 2/3 of the way through still in there.
I've still got that and the Arms Dealer, which was Destiny launched. Yeah,
so
Destiny 2 launch stuff.
Do you want to run the Arms Dealer quest?
Probably do the Arms Dealer
that fucking thing.
Get that shotgun.
Because I actually tried to do it a couple of days ago. I was like, I'm just gonna go do it, and then I looked at the Earth map and said, it's got matchmaking now. Yeah. And went into it, played through the whole strike, got to the end of it, and got no credit. And I was like, it's because you can just start the strike from there, or there's a quest.
There's a quest.
And for whatever reason, I thought that I fucking...
You have to do the quest, not the generic strike.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you have to do the quest, not the generic strike. Yeah. You should be able to do the generic strike. At this point, this many years since then, they should just be like, just play through
what you should actually do is just track anything you're going to do, and then it'll just highlight where you started from.
Right.
That's the actual way to do it, but I tend to not do that either.
But then the whole thing of like your main quest objective is do this other quest objective.
It's super confusing.
Yeah, it took me a really long time.
Like I only just realized this morning that there are best I can tell, like overarching quests have a name, and then each step within that quest has a different name.
Yes, that took a while to get my head around.
The thing that pops up on the right when you update your progress, when you do a thing, it's like, quest step.
Right.
You get the big name there, but when you go into your quest log, you're looking for the little name.
Different thing. Yeah.
It's super confusing. At the height of Shadowkeep, I think I had 41 quests in that hopper.
Wow.
It's a lot of shit to keep
I think
up
I
with.
have more than that.
It's a lot.
Because when Shadowkeep launched, I went in and picked up like every single the Crucible guy. Everyone had like 5 fucking quests. I'm like, I should just get all these. I might as well. Season 8, whatever.
I ran around picking up like the new Emperor Callus quest and like the Gambit stuff.
Yeah.
And, like it's such a mess to keep up with all that stuff. And,
And so, like, even their tracking system of just like, here's the things I want to do doesn't feel adequate.
Yeah, like you can still only track 3 activities, which is just not nearly enough for all the stuff I have going on at any one time. Yeah. The upside of all this is their old problem of not giving you anything to do is like a distant memory.
Yeah,
now.
I guess so.
Now there's too much and it's too hard to keep track of.
Yeah. It's Destiny. Yeah. And it looks great. It's
fun.
And I'm playing with my main character on a personal computer, and that's fun.
It's not a revelation to anybody that's been playing on PC for the last 2 years, but like I was never going to start over on the PC, so I just never played on the PC.
I did start over on the PC, but it never felt real because it was not my real character.
You're right. Like I did start a couple characters on there.
I had some different exotics, and I'm like, oh, well, fuck.
Like I played it, but I was like, I'm not going to stick with this. I've invested too many hours on the other platforms. So bringing those characters over and actually getting to focus on the PC.
Holy
shit, man!
The PS4 load times are
it's gotten rough.
If only there was a new console coming out that would eliminate load times entirely. Forever.
Also, it took me a little while to come around on the mouse and keyboard controls, but I finally made myself do it the last couple days, and I think I'm starting to prefer that.
I tried that and had
I hated it.
Something about the way a Bungie shooter specifically moves and aims and tracks and all that other stuff.
I'm getting used to it.
Feels busted.
I really like it because
quickly.
of the way, specifically because of like the way we talked about this in Remnant a lot, and we had an email about like what makes shooters good, but like the way the enemies react when they're being hit.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, okay, I can better realign my rifle to hit the crit spot. Like I know these guys are gonna fall over to the left when they get like it felt good.
Yeah.
And like being able to get up close to the shotgun, and you can hip fire in a way from PC that you really couldn't with like on console. Like console hip fire, and because auto aim and like auto lock was such a big deal.
Yes.
Like hip firing in this feels a lot better.
Just having that inherent aiming percent. Like I'm starting to like hand cannons now. Like I hated hand cannons before.
Really, because I've been using hand cannons on console and nailing headshots.
I mean,
nonstop
it's not that I can't do it, but I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
But I actually enjoy using them on the PC. But some of that is like the new gear system, the customizations that are possible now are so much more elaborate than they were before.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm barely even touching that stuff because I'm throwing away all my gear every 5 minutes. Because as you go through the leveling curve or whatever,
you're only
getting
spending
so much shit all the time.
Totally, but it's really fast now. But also, you're only spending Glimmer every time you do it. Like the change they made is that mods aren't consumable anymore. Once you get one, you just have it,
and they removed the
you can use
Glimmer
it.
cap.
So you just
so
just like level up your stuff to like level 6 before you start spending shards,
and then you just slap whatever mods you want on there without worrying about like, oh, if I get another set of gloves in 5 minutes, it's okay because I'm not losing the mods that I'm putting on here.
Yeah,
That's good.
and then once you get closer to like 950, and the leveling slows down a lot, that's when you can really drill into it. Probably
that's probably when you might start infusing gear or something.
Yeah,
I
still haven't infused anything.
Yeah.
There are just so many more mods now. Like you've got finishing moves now, which I feel like they lifted straight out of Doom.
Dude, totally. Like I didn't realize. So like there was like early on they give you a quest step for like go do like 8 finishers or something like that, and I was like, I'm not sure. Do I run up and hit melee? Like what? I knew it was left bumper, but I didn't know when to do it because I was just like. I thought, but the enemies glow and get a ball over their head. But I thought that was something like, oh, the Nightmare Moon shit.
Right. One of the other 50
exactly, right? So it wasn't
on.
made clear that was when they were in a finishable state, and then yes, you fucking straight up Doom.
Right. Like the range that you can activate the finisher from is like surprisingly long.
It is
like you just kind of fly to them, just like the glory kills.
Just like Doom, yeah.
And they pop off like that, like probably less than a second for the animation.
It also has a nice little added benefit of when you're playing with other people and you're kind of like scanning around looking for enemies. You can just see anyone with that ball. It's like, okay, that dude's low health. I can just finish him off from long range.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nice little subtle change.
But the reason I brought up the finishers is I've gotten a bunch of mods now that proc different effects.
Oh, really?
When I do a finisher, like I just got one that recharges my grenade from nothing every time I do a finisher.
Yeah.
Like it consumes a little bit of your super meter to do it, but like I could just be throwing grenades. Like,
I was going to say, it was kind of a bummer for me, the finisher moves, just because you're like, you're vulnerable while you're doing them. And if you're like in the middle of a couple guys, you're going to get fucked up. But hearing that there's mods.
Yeah, mods that make them useful.
Totally. I actually just got one this morning that generates an overshield on you every time you do a finisher. Yeah. Like it's some pretty good stuff.
I figured there'd be something that made those. Yeah. And then the Titan one is just like a fucking straight up fucking Roman Reigns Superman punch.
Oh hell
like
yeah!
Just fucking just like so you can
screw trying to play Final Fantasy 14. I'm gonna get into this.
That's right.
Just to do that.
Yeah.
There's a really good drop kick.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a drop kick
I've
too.
got the Warlock one.
They're cosmetics. Like you fucking spend money.
You can buy cosmetic ones, but they also drop. I got
they do.
I got that spin kick. It's I'm really enjoying playing it.
Yeah.
But this expansion, and I'm enjoying going back to the moon.
Totally.
I like that they're finally moving forward with this stuff with the darkness, which they've been alluding to since.
Sick fucking giant pyramid in space, like as opposed to the Egyptian thing they just did that could have had a giant space pyramid, but sort of did, but maybe didn't.
Also,
that was more of a mind pyramid.
Okay, sure.
This is just like a black space pyramid.
Has anybody finished the story in this?
No, I'm halfway through getting the armor.
Like I want to talk obliquely about what I think that pyramid is leading up to, in a way that doesn't really give anything away about the story at the end of this.
Yeah, no, I think I think I know what you're going to say, and I think that's fine from like a gameplay, because that's just like what they would do from a gameplay perspective from here on out.
Yeah. I totally, I could be wrong, but I think they're totally setting up like factions in the next whatever the major release is, like a straight up.
I can see it.
Alliance Horde split.
Yeah,
they've been building up to that stuff for a long time. All that dredging shit that they've been teasing with the Drifter is like straight up some Jedi Sith type stuff. Anyway, that seems like. Anyway, all that said, this thing is short, and like 80% of the level design and boss fights are recycled from previous content.
Yeah,
and it's just strange.
Like I'm coming back to it from last I played was vanilla Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And I didn't play Destiny 1. So then Moon is like a completely
all new
new
for you.
environment
Okay.
for me. But like the events that take place on the moon are the same that I was taking place on like Earth.
Same
and
public
stuff.
events.
Mm-hmm. Some of the enemies are just straight up, and some of the enemies are from expansions that I haven't played, but like I'm recognizing bosses.
Yeah.
Just straight up,
Totally.
and that's kind of a bummer.
Apparently, I don't know what form this took. Some people have been saying that they were out there trying to manage expectations beforehand about what would be in this thing, which is fine. But also, it's $35,
right?
Which is $5 less than Forsaken, which was like 2 brand new
well,
zones.
So is that $35 and you get all 4 seasons,
No,
or is that
it's 60.
just the first?
It's 60 to get the deluxe edition, and that's what gets you all 4 season passes.
Okay.
But like the Forsaken just sets such a high bar. It was like 2 brand new zones, a whole new enemy faction, all kinds of.
Yeah.
No, those dudes.
You're right. You're right. Those dudes are new. Those dudes are new. You're right.
They had a fucking weak point in a lantern.
A weak point in the lantern. It's ridiculous.
Wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, like
Bray Wyatt.
there was so much content in that thing, and like they did so many interesting things, like with the structure of it, and just on and on.
Yeah.
And this is like fine. It's pretty good, but just coming after that, I felt like they had set a bar that they didn't even come close to.
And I wonder, like if this is their big push into free to play and that sort of stuff, you would then take that to mean that like the Destiny 2 platform is probably here to stay, right?
That's what people are saying that they've been messaging. That I've just checked out of, like, I haven't watched their like vid docs and all that shit for a long time, and I guess that's where most of their messaging is. And so supposedly they're saying they're going to be dropping a lot more frequent updates.
Yeah,
and they've already got a roadmap out for this season. Like they dropped all this Vex stuff over the weekend, so that's like
that stuff's cool. But like I feel like we heard a lot of the same stories around Destiny 1 or something like that. But like just when you look at the stuff they've added in these paid expansions for Destiny 2, you start to like work backwards into that stuff. And like I don't know, I ain't no expert. We just look at it and go like, what is it about their process that seems to be like this game feels like a hack in a way. Like they built a tool set and now they're finding new and surprising ways to use that tool set.
Yeah.
Where now, and they've rebuilt things around the edges of it and stuff like that, obviously, but there's something core to it that they can't get away from that is still tethering it to this broken old stuff in a way. There's just, it's a vibe I get off of how they have restructured and tried to rebuild parts of that game.
Sure.
That just seem like there's some technical aspect of their engine or, whatever it is, that is holding that thing back in a way. So the idea of like, hey, now we're free to play and Destiny 2 is the platform of the future. There's some part of me that's like, man, I wonder if there are things in there that you wish you could just wipe away and start fresh. But then I would have said that about the Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 change, and here we are. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't actually know anything about that stuff. That's just it's a vibe I get from like every additional Destiny 2 content that they release. It's like, oh, now suddenly I'm getting now there's a safe space out in the middle of nowhere. It's not even in a cave. It's like it's the sanctuary is just here. Or hey, there's this, like the different aspects of like, oh, I'm they've put quests that are just bounties really and tied bounties to quests and all that other stuff. It just has a real like use every part of the buffalo.
Yeah, they've toyed and experimented with the way this game is put together. Since the first game came out,
right?
Like they did that with the first game. If you remember, they took all those campaigns and sort of like restructured them into like individual storylines,
right?
And they've kind of done that again here.
Yeah.
Also, have you seen the onboarding for a new character?
I haven't.
They straight up put the first mission of Destiny 1 at the beginning of this
fucking
thing.
weird.
Like you wake up in that graveyard of cars
on
Earth and play through that whole first mission.
And then play through the first mission of Destiny 2?
No, that's a separate campaign that you just access.
Oh, because that's like the Red War or whatever now, right?
Like, it's cool for new players. It's actually like everybody I know who hasn't been playing this game and just jumped in is like loving it because they flattened everything. So you make a new character and then you can do any of the content that has ever come out for this game in any order you want. Because all the levels are the same now.
I guess that works because, like the content they released for Destiny 2, like I'm sure in some sense was meant as like a chronological thing.
Yeah.
But the ties between those things were never so severe that they were locked into that. So whatever.
Yeah.
If they spin that stuff and cut some of those ties in places where appropriate and it just looks like the whole world has gone to shit all at once, like that works too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems to work. We made a new character in the quick look. That stuff seems to work pretty well.
Yeah.
But
I know they did stuff like even when Destiny 2 launched, it was like you got a different experience if you imported a character versus if you didn't. So you know, they've thought about stuff like that for a while now, I guess.
It's been everything about it has just been so weird since this cross-platform stuff happened.
Yeah.
Like, you know that thing you could do with the character select screen where you kind of watch your memories and it's like nicely illustrated and stuff. Like, I did all that stuff on the PS4. So now going through all those menus, you know, it would show your fire team for like every raid you finish and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Every player who
offline.
has not moved over to the PC, all those usernames have just been blanked out. So I can't see who I did that stuff with anymore.
Yeah.
But if I fired it up on the PS4, I probably would.
Yeah, probably.
I guess it's strange. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. It's like a hodgepodge of stuff.
Wow.
Well, keep in mind that like also I'm guessing that the character merger stuff is like phase 1, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Sony just said like was it like last week that the crossplay was out of beta and now anyone can do it.
Huh.
So
Interesting. Yeah, maybe they'll refine that stuff over time.
Yeah, you have to imagine that that's like, you know, like Bungie's not crazy. Like eventually that leads to, okay, we're letting you play with people on whatever platform.
Right.
And that's a way that they could do that and still have the like purchases stay separate and stuff like that. I don't think it like ties them up in any weird business sense because they've already made those, they've already drawn those lines, made those calls. So,
yeah.
I will say one downside to switching from PS4 to PC is I'm never playing Crucible again because I cannot.
Is it Savage?
So
I haven't even tried it yet.
I've been playing with a controller and doing fine. Like I won a Rumble. Like
I played one game and I got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, like I've been playing a bunch of Gambit and going over and killing people
start
on the
playing
other
Gambit
side
pretty
and
well,
stuff.
Gambit.
And
Gambit's really
like,
fun.
Gambit's
Yeah.
have you
Gambit's-
not played it
Gambit's
before?
No,
It's a cool mode.
Because
sure.
they added it in which expansion?
Forsaken.
Forsaken,
Yeah.
yeah. I was playing with like 3 other people on Discord and like trying to work out strategy and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a cool mode.
It's a fun mode.
Yeah.
I tried Gambit Prime for the first time yesterday, which is
What's the difference?
it's like a little faster,
it's
right?
single round.
Yeah.
It's kind of quasi class based.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
they kind of want you to. They want you to specialize. Like I'm just going to kill mobs and generate moats, or I'm going to be an invader and go kill the other team. You can steal moats out of their bank into yours.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else.
Free shipping.
Yes, also that
Access to their exclusive.
Yeah, it's basically it's one round. The goal is 100 moats instead of 75,
Mhm.
and then when the thing spawns, you have to those witches that are optional.
Yeah.
Normally,
Yeah, they come up.
now they are required. You have to kill all those
Yeah.
witches to hurt the thing, and yeah, it's pretty serious. It's cool. I enjoyed this expansion. There's still a ton of stuff to do. Like the roadmap is out there for this season, and it looks like there's still plenty of stuff coming
Yeah.
out. Like there's a
I
new.
think it's weird they have a battle pass now. I mean, I guess it's like Breakpoint has a battle pass. Like everything does now.
everything
has
It's
it.
just
Yeah.
it's weird that's
There's so many. Like I have my season level. I have my reputation. Like there's just so many more numbers and meters in this game, and you don't really have to pay attention to all of it if you don't want
how
to.
many battle passes must a man level?
Exactly. I'll battle pass.
Go on.
Got some water. I'll be
Oh yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this thing and see what they do over time because they're talking like they're going to be more rapidly putting new things into the game, and that sounds promising. But this is
I will happily finish the content they
Yeah.
got, and I'll try
Yeah.
the Vex thing out once I get there. Like,
it's
I
worth
haven't-
seeing that
yeah.
the ending of this thing for sure, just as a
Okay.
kind of a little tease of where it seems like they might be going with this franchise.
Yeah.